Anti-Nazi League. It was formed and headed by SWP, not as SWP, but the leading office bearers of Anti-Nazi League were two people. One was Paul Hobon and the other one was Peter Alexander. They were full-time working on the Anti-Nazi League. And it was particularly focusing on against the fascist, not particularly regarding the racist, but the fascist, BNP, National Front, and other offshoots of fascism in the United Kingdom. Other organizations, including the Indian Work Association, joined the ANL with affiliation, and it held its biannual general meeting for electing its steering committee. Anti-Nazi League was also formed in the late 70s, but it became very active in 80s and particularly mid-80s. The type of activities it held: music concert, pop against fascist, and up and down the country.
Was that pop against fascism or was it rock against racism?
Rock against racism, rock against fascism and racism. They were very successful, particularly in London. More than 20,000 youngsters attending that. ANL contributions also led, which I earlier mentioned, the TUC organizing a march in Tower Hamlet. Tower Hamlet. And Jaga checked, march was held on 19th March 1994. And in 1993, Derek Beacon, leading fascist of the BNP, he was elected councillor in Tower Hamlet, and 6 other councillors were elected on that platform. ANL contributed massively into the TUC march, played their role. They had a main speaker, one of the main speakers on the platform. It was Peter Alexander. It was successful, and the result of the successful, in the 1994 election of the local authority, all 6 fascists were defeated. So later in the 90s, ANL activities became less and less, and in the 2020s, another organization on the foundation of Anti-Nazi League, Unite Against Racism, which is active to this day. That's about Anti-Nazi League.
How important was the marketing of the Anti-Nazi League? Because they did lots of badges. The logo was quite pronounced.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Uh, T-shirts, mugs, badges, and particularly ANL written in black over yellow. That became,
And the red arrow.
and red arrow, a trademark of the ANL.
Was the ANL a membership organisation?
Affiliated,
Affiliated.
yeah, not individual, organization affiliated, yeah.
And what impact do you think the ANL made?
The impact of ANL, the BNP, National Front, other fascist organizations were making inroads into the parliamentary and local council elections. ANL virtually defeated the fascists on that matter.
Would you say one of its important achievements was tapping into the youth movement of young people?
Well, regarding Rock Against Racism and Fascism, particularly overwhelmingly, it was the youth involved in that.
Is there any lessons from the ANL that Black Lives Matter would be useful to adopt?
No, it's altogether different ball game now.
So, what would you say is the difference?
Because ANL was focused on fascism, Black Lives Matters is on the whole issue of racism against all black peoples in all imperialist countries. And that is the difference. ANL was focused particularly the fascist organization in the United Kingdom, not internationally at all.
But fascism also is linked to racism.
In a different way, rather than because the fascism not only exploit the presence of the black people, but also it campaign against trade unionism, labor movements. They also attack that. Yeah,
And obviously, fascism impacts on both black and white people.
it does. It does make impact, but not as a whole that only black people. Yeah.
And what role did the Jewish community play in the Anti-Nazi League?
They participated in the Anti-Nazi League, but they were not on the forefront.
And why do you think that was?
There was a contradiction on the role of the Israel state against the Palestinian, and there was a contradiction on that in the ANL. ANL as an organization supported Palestine people for their statehood. Okay.